Happy Friday, Eagles Nation. Welcome to today's episode of Bird Buzz. Stephen Hellmann here alongside Tom Aresco. And huge loss for the Vikings last night. So, unfortunately, we got to root for Dallas. But
yeah, but hey.
Helps our draft pick.
They got it done, and it helps the Eagles this season.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Helps us try and get to that last wild card spot. So, I mean...
and it's slim hopes, but they're still
still in it. You know, every game's winnable. Will they win them all? That is the question.
Probably not.
Well, a lot of games have been winnable.
It's okay. I just like seeing any time they can win because our I know we need a top draft pick, but again, like we just said, our record doesn't reflect our draft pick this year. It's the Vikings, so we can root against the Vikings and still root for the Eagles. Mm-hmm. And I just want to see an improvement of 7 wins. So we have 5. Let's see if we can get at least 8, 9, and that's an improved season, and we can keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
Let's dive into the questions.
Let's dive into them. And before we get into the questions, I'm going to say, sorry no weekly chirp this week, guys. We're very busy. We're trying to organize a pilot shoot back home, so sorry the videos have been delayed, not as frequent, but we're just really slammed right now.
And we get depressed when the Eagles.
And yeah, that doesn't help either. But we're very busy, so we apologize for the tardiness of the videos and the lack of them. But nonetheless, Bird Buzz, we'll never skip that. So let's go. Ethio Boy 30 asks, "What's your opinion on the upcoming offseason receivers we can add to our core with DGB and Jordan Matthews?"
You answer that one.
I answered that one. I mean, I would say, you got to go out there and get Pryor, Alshon Jeffrey. You just need a burner. You need a guy that can make some plays and then hopefully everyone else will fall in line. But the thing is, you have these really high draft picks invested in Aguilar, DGB, who was drafted in the second round, but pretty high in the second round, and Jordan Matthews, who was drafted in the second round. And these guys just, none of these guys are really playing to their potential right now. I mean, Jordan Matthews is all right, but DGB's learning, and Aguilar, was inactive. So we have one of these guys can kind of emerge as a a good number 2, and I think Jordan Matthews is a good player. But if DGB or Aguilar can find something here, then that'd be huge.
I was watching on NFL Network one time. I think it was like a top 10 receivers that were bust in the first round or something like that. And one of them was Peter Warrick, and he was drafted to the Cincinnati Bengals in like the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And he said, like, they interviewed him on there, and he said it was tough because guys before him, guys around the league that were young receivers, they had older guys to look up to, and on the Bengals at the time, he was expected to be the number 1 guy, and everyone fell behind him, and it was a bunch of young guys, and they just had trouble learning how to play receiver because there was nobody that knew really what they were doing at the NFL level, and it's really bold of him to come out and say that, but that's exactly what it looks like for this group of receivers. Yeah. There's not that big brother presence that can bring everyone together and be like, I'll lead, you guys follow. Mm-hmm. Like what T.O. brought to the Eagles in 2004. Yeah. And that's kind of what I think they need is that presence that can just bully secondaries, and then everybody can get open because that guy's doing it and he's showing everybody how to play. Yeah. So I think that's what they need. They need a Terrell Pryor type player where he can just be the big time guy. And then they could also use adding another guy in the draft as well. Yeah. To bring in some more competition.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next question. Little Chubb 1990 asks, Chubb Nation, he asks, "Is the starting running back for next season on this roster right now, or will we draft or in free agency? Decide that!" Exclamation point. So he wants to know. Chubb Nation.
Okay, Chubb Nation. All right. Mm-hmm. I think that the running back that will get some carries next year will be Wendell Smallwood, but I think that the Eagles will also draft a guy. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling that they'll draft a guy, and it could be, depending on where they pick, one of the top running backs in the draft. Yeah. If they don't see any receivers fit to be drafted at that spot, I think they're looking for an offensive playmaker if they don't go O-line, which they could. Mm-hmm. And the fact that it's not a good tackle class, so to speak, that means they could get the best tackle in the class. Yeah. And even the best tackle in a class that's not that great could still be a pretty good player. So I think they're going to look for an offensive player, but if a guy like Dalvin Cook is there, you could look to see if they get him. But I think the running back that'll be of the future for this team is in a draft sometime in the next 2 years.
Yeah, all right. Next question. S.Mills9 asks, "Why is McKelvin still employed?" That's a very Very good question. I have no idea.
McKelvin is playing really bad. He's
Yeah,
never really
there's
been
no
that
way
good.
he's gonna be back next
old.
year.
He seems beat up. Sign him to a
Really,
2-year
But
deal.
I think he just played his way out of town.
Yeah, you cut him. He's just not good at all. He gets thrown around. He's small. He's light. He's not that strong. Playing guys. I mean, he was when he was young. He wasn't even that good. He was one of the biggest first round busts. The Bills picked him out of Troy, and he just was never really that good. And then, they brought him in here to be that veteran stopgap guy while they figured the position out. And it's kind of same with Nolan Carroll. And you're seeing why that doesn't work. It's kind of like Carrie Williams and Bradley Fletcher when we brought them in. The bargain hunting for corners and stopgap guys usually just means they're not that good and they're not really gonna do much. So it's kind
of. Next question. At Jack Pizor 10 asks, what would you like to receive for Aguilar and Kendricks in a trade to any team?
Anything. I honestly, Kendricks isn't playing that bad. Aguilar's playing really bad.
I
want to see what Aguilar does these next 5 games too.
Yeah,
you can't trade till the offseason anyway. I don't think they have much value, so we would see. But best thing we can do is just kind of let them play their way.
Kendricks intrigues me because if you trade them, there would be a salary dump. Yeah. Basically, and you know what? I think the $8 million could be spent better elsewhere. That's me personally, but he hasn't been bad this year. He's been all right.
Yeah. I'd like a salary dump.
Yeah. Next question. Smithboy93 asks, in the first round of the draft, should we get a corner, wide receiver, running back? Also, do you think we go after more in free agency, Jeffrey or Pryor? I'd say receiver. If you're just between, I'd say receiver in the draft still.
Yeah, I like a couple positions in the draft, and it just depends on where they are and what they do in free agency.
I think the best player on the board.
Yeah, at your position.
Tackle, running back, or
wide receiver, or even cornerback. I think you could benefit, and we're seeing right now why the cornerbacks on this team are bad. It just depends on what's there and what you do in free agency. Now, if you go out in free agency and you're like, okay, I want to get a guy that's kind of more proven, like the Giants did with Janoris Jenkins. And I know it hasn't worked for us in the past with some of this stuff, but Jermaine Johnson is a guy that they could have some interest in. And if they go out and they say, look, Benny Logan, sorry, we're going to move on from you. We already have all that money tied up in Fletcher Cox, and as sad as it is, we can't keep you around. We need to invest money elsewhere. And they go out and they get Trumaine Johnson, and he comes in and he's your number one corner, and then Jalen Mills is on the other side. Then you don't want to draft a corner. But if you go out and get Terrell Pryor or Alshon Jeffrey in free agency, then maybe you can think about holding off on drafting a receiver in the first round. So we'll see what happens, how they build this team. But I do think they're 2 or 3 drafts away from having a new core of players truly around Wentz to make an impact, because you don't get many starters out of each draft. You get 1 or 2 if you're lucky. So.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Constelli asks, what spot do you think we end up picking at, and who do you think we select? I'm going to say 16.
I have no idea.
17.
I have no idea right
17,
now.
16.
Where they end up picking. I think they could trade up into a sweet spot and land one of 4 or 5 players. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be best on the board. We think running back.
I think if they're at 16 and they trade up for up to 12 or 10, I think it's got to be for Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's got to be for Dalvin Cook, because he's the only guy that's kind of a rare breed in this draft. Him and Fournette are like the 2 far and away top running backs, and I think if they trade up, it'll be for a guy like that.
All right. Next question, Carlos Rado 2 asks, if Nelson Aguilar can overcome his mental issues, what do you believe his ceiling is? I hope he does that for his sake and the team's.
You got this one?
Nelson Aguilar can overcome? Yeah, I've been talking a good amount. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he is ever going to be good here. I don't know. It's the last 5 games are really going to dictate it, because if he plays well, they'll keep him around for another year. It really doesn't make sense to cut him. You would have to trade him, because if you cut him, you're going to lose a lot of money. It's just almost better to keep him.
Yeah, and exactly. And if you cut him, you're not benefiting. I would just say let him keep playing, and you got to add some guys and have him down the depth chart and let him work his way up and get on the field. He can come on rotational, make plays when he's called upon, but doesn't look like he's working as number 1 receiver.
Yeah, no, I think they get a free agent like you were talking about earlier. They get a free agent wide receiver, big time guy, and take some pressure off these guys. Maybe that will help. It's just he's definitely, there's something wrong in his head right now, and You know, maybe he can work that out in the offseason. I don't see it.
Yeah, I think this season's going to teach a lot of these young guys a lot. When they get some reinforcements, I think they'll get some renewed confidence as well. That's a big thing with Harry Roseman this offseason. He's got to realize that bringing some guys in is going to, you know, I think it will more give confidence to some of these guys more than, you know, anything else. It'll fire them up. It'll make them want to compete, but it'll also know, I'm competing, but at the same time, a guy like Terrell Pryor or Alshon Jeffrey, I don't think Alshon's going to be the guy. If it's Pryor, I'm going to go crazy. But a guy like that, you know, you bring him in and it's like, geez, this guy is, this guy's he's a freak.
And they need to bring in one of those guys.
He can make plays, and I think that'll give everyone on the offense confidence, especially Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I agree. Next question, J Brad 13. Justin Bradley asks, how many yards should it cost for Doug to challenge a play? 2. Is the answer, the sarcastic answer.
That is crazy. That was a bad challenge.
That's brutal.
Everyone knows, you know. It's just
I mean, luckily they didn't need another challenge later in the game.
Think they would either.
But
it's just the principle.
You can't do that.
Just the principle of what he did, and
that,
everyone's fed up at that point. So
and he defended it like it was the right thing to do. That's a problem. Next question, Ace OSM asks, is Mills going to get a pick this year? This next game? I think he will.
I think he could this year, but you know what? I'm just looking forward to him having a nice long career in Philly. I hope he does. I hope he gets, you know, a little quicker, a little faster, a little stronger each year, and he comes back and he's just that solid corner. Do need somebody for him to play with on the other side though, because Carroll's going to be gone and Leotis McKelvin is going to be gone.
No, I like Mills. I think he's going to be a good player. He's got a chip on his shoulder. I think he gets it. I think he gets what it's like playing in Philly. Next question, Legendario asks, is Peterson going to pull a Chip Kelly and get rid of our best players? Well, probably not, because we don't really have that many. Well, I mean, we do have some good ones, but they're all under contract. They're all Howie's guys. And now with Howie being the GM, you don't really have something like that happening.
And Joe Douglas and Andy Weidel are a couple guys in the front office that are, you know, 2 guys that we brought in that are vying for GM jobs elsewhere, so they're going to make sure they do a good job. And I think there's more. Let's just put it this way. I think there's more players that will have to be brought in than are released that would make us upset. The guys that are going to be released aren't guys that are like guys people love and want this team to keep around. You know, guys like Ryan Matthews and Leotis McKelvin and guys like that. So I think that we'll get rid of a lot of the guys that make people pull their hair out, and we'll replace them with some guys that can play. Maybe there'll be younger guys that need to learn, but there'll be some good high potential guys too.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next question, it's from you, Restioko.
All right.
Is that how you say it?
Aresco.
Well, it's but you put a T in there.
So it's like the word arrest, and then it's co.
Aresco. I never
get it.
I just never pick up on it. You explain it to me all the time.
This guy is literally Namdi Asamoah.
The Namdi Asamoah of reading. I might actually be Namdi Asamoah of reading Twitter handles.
He is.
I am. Who are a few players you'd absolutely love to have in 2017 on the Philadelphia Eagles roster of football players?
So the player,
I like the wording of it.
Yeah, the roster of football players they have.
Prior Jeffrey. Just give me one. I'll
take Pryor.
I guess I lean towards Pryor, but like honestly, you just need one so bad. And then
you need a guy in the draft. If they don't get that, I love Mike Williams from Clemson. I love Corey Davis. I love D.D. Westbrook. John Ross. There's a lot of speedsters, and then there's a lot of guys that are big and can make catches. So I'd love one of those guys. That'd be cool. Dalvin Cook, obviously, love him. Leonard Fournette, love him.
I just really want a right tackle because we need one.
And a tackle.
I tackle and then like a burner receiver in the second. Oh God, I'd go nuts. I'd go nuts.
Yeah, a tackle and a burner receiver, and then we let Peters go and we use the money to sign the guy. A big time receiver.
I think that's the play.
Westbrook in the second round.
Listen, we're not gonna fix cornerback, wide receiver, running back, offensive line in all one offseason. This is not realistic. It's just not gonna happen.
Get the best guys. Like next year, are there certain guys coming out that can fix some of those spots in free agency and the draft? So this year, pick a couple of them and fix those. And then,
it's not all going to get fixed in one offseason.
But I think if the offensive line talent isn't really that good, then you can maybe get a guy in the second round, you know, and maybe get a playmaker in the first. It's kind of that's kind of how it is. But if you have I don't know. I mean, I think developing players is the way to go.
Yeah.
So any guy we draft, I'll be more excited about. But Terrell Pryor would be absolutely unreal, and I love the rivalry he had going with Janoris Jenkins of the New York Giants.
Yeah.
On Twitter and during the game, Jenkins trying to get in his head and talk to him, and Pryor just handled it well, had a nice day. They lost because the Browns, can't really put that on him, but then Terrell Pryor just was being polite on Twitter, and Jenkins was talking crap to him, so I love it. I think he just giving him this little silent treatment, like, hey, you had a good game, nice job, and then I think he comes to Philly and has a couple games against Janoris Jenkins next year, I will go crazy.
Crazy. All right, so last question, sorry boy, Reggie Singleton, Mr. Get Flea, he asked 2 questions, and no one asked anything because I guess the fate's down right now. First he asked, 2-parter, what do you want to see from this team for the rest of the season? I mean, just improvement.
Yeah, just keep improving every game, just get stronger, try to see what's, how you can evaluate these guys, just like Peterson said.
Yeah, everyone's playing for the job.
Yeah, Malcolm Jenkins said that, the message kind of was, we'll see who wants to belong on this team, who belongs on this team, and that's what it is from here on out.
Yeah, I just want to see improvement from everyone, and
Jalen Mills.
We've seen some players improve, and we've seen some players regress. I was getting there. So yeah, I mean, and the second part of his question, do you still see us getting that last wild card spot? And I don't know, because the Vikings lost last night, and 9 wins, you were saying might get it done.
It might get it done. I gotta say.
And now the Oswald might come back and save the Eagles secondary.
Exactly. And Macho Harris and Kurt Coleman might come with them. We'll see what happens. I'll tell you what, though, if the Eagles win...
Do you really think 9 wins could get it done?
I do. I possibly do think 9 wins can get it done. I'm a crazed lunatic. And you know what else? I think that if the Eagles beat the Cincinnati Bengals, they will go into that game against the
Redskins. That'll be
with a chance to go 7-6 at home against the Washington Redskins and
their arch nemesis,
and knock them down. And if the Redskins, especially if the Redskins lose to the Cardinals, I mean, there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of things you need to happen every week. It seems. And it seems like maybe one week it can happen, and it just hasn't, and never has yet. And it could be it. Our time.
Last year taught us that every win is just so great. And there's one thing that Chipper taught us. It's that wins are just, he does this. He licked his lips. That's what he did.
I love it.
And that's just wins. We've been so deprived of wins the last 2 seasons.
We're ready to get wins. We're ready to get wins. And we're fine. Remember my preseason motto? Every game. What did I say?
We're going to win every game.
It would be a big win. It would be huge to get a win.
We went 4-0 in the preseason.
And now I need to start saying that again. I don't care if we were 0-16. I don't care if we were 0-11 like the Browns. I don't care if we were 11-1 like the Dallas Cowboys. It would be huge to get a win, and I would love every second.
I think a road win would be amazing. Some confidence, too.
And imagine if they did that. They beat the Bengals, and they get that confidence. They go home and they beat Washington. They're 7-6. Are you kidding me? You have a game against the Baltimore Ravens to get to 8-6 at that point. I mean, the season's still wide open. You gotta keep believing. You
gotta think they gotta build our hopes up at least one more time to either get us to the playoffs or completely crush us. Yeah. So anything can happen, guys.
Just win this Sunday and anything can happen.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Bring it. You guys on Monday for the weekly
show. Eagles, fly. No, we're not going to do the song, but that's how pumped up we are for this game, so let's do it.
All right, see you guys then.